Hi everyone. The next poem on our list, and the first of three poems for this week, which I'm going to talk about in chronological order, is We Wear the Mask by Paul Laurence Dunbar. We Wear the Mask was actually written in 1896, and so I'm going to read the poem right now. It's very short. You can see it's only three stanzas. Although it's not replicated exactly here in this slide, I was not able to get the spacing correct. However, you can see the white space between the stanzas, so you can see the three stanzas. So here it is. We wear the mask. We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us, while we wear the mask. We smile, but, O great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet, and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, we wear the mask. So here's a brief biography of Paul Laurence Dunbar. After reading the poem, you can get a little information from this biography about him, and it will help you understand the poem better. He was one of the first Black Americans to gain acceptance, fame, and influence for his writing, as he wrote essays, poetry, and even novels. He was born to freed slaves in 1872. He also only occasionally wrote about the Black experience or slavery in his poems. He also wrote love poems, poems about nature, poems with action, other such poems. However, this poem, We Wear the Mask, does refer to the Black experience in America and what members of his race must do in order to survive in a white-dominated world. He grew up in Ohio, but lived in other areas of the country, including Colorado, New York, and Washington, D.C. So not specifically the South, where Black Americans generally had more discrimination, post-slavery and post-Civil War in the reconstruction of the South and the rebuilding, more prejudice against Black Americans there. However, he knew what it took still to survive in a white society, no matter where he lived. So here are some general themes and ideas, and then I just have one slide per stanza. In case you decide that you want to explicate this poem, I just give some questions and a few ideas here. The word we certainly signifies the Black community. We wear the mask that grins and lies. Although if you did not know that Dunbar was Black, you could make the case that we is any group of individuals who have been discriminated against, who are not understood, who must deceive and wear masks in order to function in society. Look at Richard Cory, for instance. This poem was written just 1 year before that one. So this poem was 1896, Richard Cory was 1897. And rich, white, socially upward and well-off Richard Cory also wore a mask, as we know. However, still, most people read this poem through the lens of the Black American community. So why does the mask lie? This is stanza 1. It hides their true selves. He must wear this mask to fit into white society and what they expect of him and what they expect him to be. Dunbar's diction, as we can see in this poem, is very formal, but we can break down the words and what they mean. So the word guile means human craftiness and deviousness. It sort of has a meaning of underhanded deception. The mask itself is the debt to the underhanded deviousness that is foisted upon the Black community by whites. At least that's how I read the line, that the Black Americans must pay the debt that's foisted upon them just for being who they are by wearing this mask. Mouth in this context, I think means speak. So it's used as a verb instead of a mouth as a noun. Myriad is many, and subtleties are things that are subtle. So not open, not bold, but understated. So all of those work together to help us understand the mask. Here's some questions to think about from this stanza. Why are their hearts bleeding? And why are they still smiling? Okay, let's move on to the next stanza. Why tears and sighs? Why are there so many tears and sighs? He asks rhetorically why the world should be overwise in counting these tears and sighs. And of course, it relates back to the mask in stanza 1. He doesn't want anybody to see them. What does he want to do with them instead? Let's also think about the mask. He is not literally wearing a mask in society, of course. So the mask functions as a metaphor and a symbol both. What is it symbolic of? I could ask you to think about. And what is the mask compared to in the poem? So remember, a metaphor is two unlike things that are compared. So what would the mask be compared to? And finally, the third stanza, why religion and why wear the mask? Oh, great Christ. Religion is now brought into the mix in the third stanza. And so I'd ask why? What is the purpose of bringing religion into this? We also have vile or hated clay beneath our feet. So why do they sing? And the world dreams otherwise, meaning they believe that Black Americans are not wearing a mask. Why would they believe this? Why ultimately do they wear the mask that lies? So that's the question to ask yourself. Don't forget to think in the poem about craft, such as number of stanzas, number of lines per stanza, whether it's rhyming or free verse, the use of punctuation, such as exclamation marks, a dash, the question mark, and all of that together, plus the themes and the speaker, will help you understand the poem better. Okay, that's all for this poem. Bye-bye.